Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Nguyen, and today I'll be talking about Smokey Nagata and the beginning of a new era for streetcars. I'll be talking about Smokey Nagata and about Smokey, and then how he became the person he is. Then I'll be talking about the top secret V12 Supra, and then I'll be talking about the rise of JDM cars. Smokey Nagata's real name is Kazuhiko Nagata, and he was actually born in Hokkaido, Japan on February 25th, 1964. He grew up in a small village with mainly hills and farmland, and this wouldn't really spark an idea to create modified cars because it was just farms and hills. He was actually born into a mechanic family, but however, he wasn't really good at fixing up cars. He bought a Mitsubishi Galant GTO at the age of 15, but it was not modified and stock, and it was slow. It was about 100 horsepower on his car. He struggled to work on the cars, even though his dad was a mechanic and his dad would teach him, but he just wasn't able to learn. He was noticed by a local boss of Toyota and an older engineer who worked at that dealership as well. And then they decided to bring him in and help him out, help his car, and they turned his old car into a race car, which is shown above. Soon after, he was actually expelled for driving due to the fact that the legal age to drive in Japan was 16. So the boss of Toyota actually felt guilty because he felt that it was his fault for making Smokey the person he was and that he wanted to drive, and then he just felt bad, so he offered him a job at his own Toyota. 4 years after working at the dealership, he was fired due to the fact that he was more skilled than any of the other workers and that he would use his own skills that he learned to build his own Toyota Celica. But once he got fired, he actually decided to just take the things that he wore and all the cash he had and his Toyota Celica and drove 800 miles to Tokyo. Tokyo is the heart and the city of the cars and the auto tuning world. So this was a good move for him. So when he got there, he actually worked at a tuning company called Trust. They hired him even though he was skilled, right? But they only assigned him to work on small things like mufflers and turbos. Not only was this upsetting to him, this only fueled his hunger to modify cars, and he just kept on going and going. During the off hours, he would just work on cars that people would bring in that they want him to modify in the company's garage. Soon the boss actually found out, but Smokey wasn't fired. He was actually kept due to the fact that he was so skillful for what he was doing. After the boss found out, he decided that he was going to make a joint company with Trust and create his own company called Top Secret. So after Top Secret was created, this was the beginning of a new era for modifying cars in the 90s. The 90s was crazy. All you would see were modified cars. So the company has built many, many cars, but these are the top three cars that were definitely noticed a lot. They created the legendary V8 Nissan Skyline GTR, which had about 650 horsepower, a twin turbo V12 Supra, which had about 900 horsepower, and my personal favorite is Ryuji Miki's Nissan S15. So this is the R32 Skyline, which has was it was crazy. People would hear this car going down streets, highways. Because Smokey liked to take his cars on night drives, and people would hear it screaming down the roads. This car is the Supra, which had a V12 in it with twin turbos, and then basically this broke records, many records. And this is my favorite because it's a Nissan S15 Sylvia. This car was actually used for a drift competition, but however, in 2004, it got into an accident and the car was totaled and scrapped, and then it was never seen again. So, because of this, this began the rise of JDM cars, or JDM also stands for the Japanese Domestic Market. Top Secret and Trust supplied the US and Japan with tuned cars for underground racing, and many people started to do car stuff. It was crazy. So, after 20 years of creating his own company, he decided to do a publicity stunt in the UK. So, what he did was he would block traffic on the UK highway and just speed down from 0 to 240 kilometers. He was chased by the UK police and actually was arrested. This publicity stunt was really successful as it has spread all over the world to the point where an Emirati prince actually wanted to buy his Supra, the same Supra that he was arrested in. At the age of 57, Smokey is still running Top Secret and is thriving really well and making lots of money on his company. To this world, we are actually still seeing people build cars for show or for racing. So this is an example of what I would do because I like I like the 370Z. It's slammed to the ground, has three-piece rims. It's nice. And here's a stands out Mazda RX-7. Mazda RX-7 is one of the top three GDM cars due to the fact of how rare it was, or how rare you would find it now because it wasn't. Not many people kept it in mint condition. And this is a slammed Lexus IS 300. It's cambered out with the rims going really wide out. And that's basically my presentation on Smokey Nagata. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And my name is Brandon, and that'll be all.